Meet Kwame. Kwame is a Gambian who is one of the victims of unlawful deportation from Angola. Kwame was legally in Angola and had a legal work permit. In the process of being expelled, they were detained under grossly inhuman conditions, being denied food and water, medical attention, adequate sanitary facilities, and subjected to cruel and inhuman treatment. Their personal belongings, passports, and other documents proving their residential and work status in Angola were confiscated by the Angolan authorities. They were arrested and detained without any warrants and were denied access to the courts of law and relevant authorities to challenge the reasons for their arrest, detention, and deportation. Kwame knew that this abuse constituted human rights violations under the African Charter on Human and People's Rights that Angola is a signatory. With the help of an NGO based in the Gambia, Kwame and the other victims filed a complaint with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, the Commission Against Angola. Commission's background. How did it come to being? The African Commission on Human and People's Rights, the Commission, was established by African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The African Charter, also referred to as the Banjul Charter, was adopted on 27 June 1981 by the Organization of the African Unity, presently the African Union since 2001, and entered into force on 21 October 1986. It is the only treaty on the African continent ratified by all African Union member states. Article 30 of the African Charter establishes the Commission. The Secretariat of the Commission is located in Banjul, the Gambia. The Commission is one of the institutions under the judicial, human rights, and legal organs of the African Union. Commission's functioning. What is the work of the Commission? It is important to note that this Commission is different from the African Union Commission, AEC. The AEC is the AU Secretariat based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. In addition to performing any other tasks which may be entrusted to it by the Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the Commission is officially charged with three major functions: to promote human and people's rights, ensure the protection of human and people's rights is enshrined by the African Charter, interpret all the provisions of the African Charter at the request of a state party, an institution of the AU or an African organization recognized by the AU. Commission structure. How does it carry out its work? The Commission consists of 11 members chosen from amongst African personalities of the highest reputation, known for their high morality, integrity, impartiality, and competence in matters of human and people's rights, with particular consideration given to people with legal experience. These members are elected by secret ballot by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government from a list of persons nominated by state parties to the Charter for a period of 6 years. They are eligible for re-election. The Commission has constituted working groups, special mechanisms, and committees to advance specific thematic areas of work and optimize its functioning. Each special mechanism, working group, and committee is overseen by one of the 11 commissioners. Simultaneously, the commissioners also serve as members of working groups and committees alongside non-commissioner expert members. Commission special mechanisms. What are the different special mechanisms of the Commission? The Commission has established some of the following special mechanisms: Advisory Committee on Budgetary and Staff Matters, Committee on the Protection of the Rights of People Living with HIV and those at risk, vulnerable to, and affected by HIV, Committee for the Prevention of Torture in Africa, Committee on Resolutions, Special Reporter on Freedom of Expression and Access to Information, Special Reporter on Human Rights Defenders, Special Reporter on Prisons and Conditions of Detention, Special Reporter on Refugees, Asylum Seekers, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, Special Reporter on Rights of Women, Working Groups on Communications, Working Groups on Death Penalty and Extrajudicial, Summary, or Arbitrary Killings in Africa, Working Group on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, Working Group on Extractive Industries, Environment, and Human Rights Violations, Working Group on Indigenous Populations, Communities in Africa, Working Group on Rights of Older Persons and People with Disabilities, Working Group on Specific Issues related to the work of the African Commission. Commission's governance. What guides the work of the Commission? The rules of procedure regulate and establish the procedure of the Commission in accordance with Article 42.2 of the African Charter. The Commission shall decide in the absence of a provision in these rules or in case of doubt as to their interpretation. Commission's protective mandate. How does the Commission protect rights and freedoms? To protect rights and freedoms, the Commission, among other responsibilities, is empowered to receive and consider communications submitted by one state claiming that another state party to the Charter has violated one or more of the provisions in the Charter, and other complaints from individuals like me, whose rights have been violated, and organizations alleging that a state party to the Charter has violated one or more of the rights guaranteed therein. The Commission also has a mandate to review reports from state parties on compliance with the African Charter and investigates violations of specific human rights issues in countries of concern. Filing complaints with the Commission. How do victims of rights violations file complaints with the Commission? Individuals and NGOs in Africa and beyond have over the years forwarded to the Commission complaints. Communications are submitted to the Commission after exhausting local remedies, if any, unless it is obvious that this procedure is unduly prolonged. The communication should be submitted to the Commission within a reasonable period from the time local remedies are exhausted. It is always advisable to submit a complaint as early as possible. The communication must not be one which has already been or is being settled through another international body, like the UN Human Rights Committee or even some other organ of the AU. Commission's obstacles. What challenges does the Commission face in carrying out its work? In executing its mandate, the Commission faces challenges such as the non-binding nature of the Commission's decisions due to lack of sufficient authority given to the Commission by the African Charter to enforce its decisions at the national level. This contributes to a lack of political will by some state parties to implement the Commission's decisions and recommendations, including provisional measures. Insufficient visibility on the Commission's activities and decisions, recommendations that lead to an effective dissemination of decisions of the Commission at the national level. Financial constraints due to inadequate funding from state parties resulting to reliance on donor funds. Institutional constraints caused by inadequate staffing levels at the Secretariat of the Commission that causes delays in handling of communication, adoption and publication of concluding observations on state reports, and regularly monitor implementation of its decisions, including country visits. Inadequate commitment by state parties leading to non-compliance by states with their commitment under Article 62 of the African Charter and 26 of the Maputo Protocol on the Rights of Women and Girls. Threats to its existence and independence to execute its mandate as demonstrated by the Decision 1015 of the AU's Executive Council. On independence of the Commission. What can I do to ensure the African Commission remains independent? Join the Coalition for the Independence of the African Commission. For more information, visit www.ACHPRindependence.org. Twitter @the CIAC, Facebook @CoalitionIAC, email theciac@achprindependence.org.